do that again. So we're going to come back up here. We're going to start, and that's the size of our rough blank to start with. We want our finished diameter. Our finished diameter is going to be 2.5. Actually, we're going to make it 225. Right? So that's what we're going to do. So we're changing that, which will then change to our finished product. If you notice, it says it couldn't recalculate this one because it's made by a different tool, so we're going to delete that. Okay, what we're going to do today is take a log, fireplace log, that's 3.5 to 3.6 inches in diameter. So we're going to set it at 3.6 inches in diameter. And we're going to turn it down to 2.25 inch blank. So this is going to be the blank when we're done. It'll have bark on this side and bark on that side. But we're going to carve our finished project inside this. But step one is going from a tree trunk to a dowel. Before I do that, I want to look right here and see how high our finished diameter of the material is going to be 2.25. And I want to see what my clearance is. My plunge is, I'm going to make it 0.2 because the log is irregular. So sometimes I'll be hitting high parts. And I'm only going to make it about 1 inch above this clearance. Okay, so I'm going to put it 1 inch there. The Z gap above, when I'm all done, I'm going to make that 1.5 inches. And we'll set those. That's the first step. Make sure your material setup is right. Then we're going to go over to our gadget tool and we're going to do a wrapping and create a tool path. Now what we're doing is, this is a rounded part. We haven't worked with that before. The log is pseudo-round. It's not really round, but it's close. It's more of an oval based on how the tree grew. But the maximum distance there is 3.5. We're going to take it from this oval lump shape into a circle. So we're finished. We're going to use this tool path instead of this one because we don't have any squares to cut off. We're just going to bring that shape down. We're going to select the large tool. We're going to select a 1/2 inch. And if you look at the depth of the pass, it's currently 0.15, and the step over is 0.25, which is 1/4 inch, which is might be a little extreme. This is our first attempt, so we'll see how it works. Feed rate's a little high, but if you remember on our touch screen, we can lower that down to 10 inches per minute. And we'll be doing that when we start up and gradually increase it to see how it works. Because again, we've never done this, so we start slow and build up. So there we go. And we tell it to do it. And click anywhere here and then hit enter, and it carves your space. And see, it's going to, see where it comes up? It's going to actually be 1 inch above that when it moves. So it's going to come down here, cut all this, and then go back up. Alright, so there we go. You preview it. It goes and cuts all that. And there it is. It says it takes about 43 minutes to turn that log into a usable dowel. So we'll see how long it takes and see how good it does. And I'll speed up the video so you don't get too bored. But when we're done, that's our project. This step, step one, going from a log to a dowel. And we'll save this. Just click this one, come over here and hit save. And select it. See it? CNC Shark Rotary Wrap Y. And we hit save. And we're going to save this to our drive, which I don't have plugged in yet, but it'll be a flash drive right there. And save it as a rounding tool path for, let's do it the other way, log, and it's a 3.6 inch diameter, and we're going to take it down to 2.25. Remember, you can't use periods in your title because then it confuses your software. Next we need the size of the end mill that we're using. It's a 1.5 or 1-2 or 1/2 inch end mill, E-mill. So that's our end mill that we're using. So we're taking a log that's 3.6 inches in diameter down to 2.25, and and we're using a 1/2" end mill to do it. All right. Now I'll save that, and we'll see you in the lab. All right, what we're going to do is I've drilled a hole in here, and I'll be screwing this threaded part in. This comes with your tooling. When you put this on in your toolbox, it came with that, a little box, is one of these. And you screw it in, you drill the hole so it's just undersized of those threads, then you screw that in. It gives you a way to mount a bigger stock in there. In fact, you can mount up to a 12" on a normal lathe. Obviously you can't do that on here because our clearance from there to the tip to the bed is not 12 inches, it's much less. But anyway, what I'm going to do is turn this log, this happens to be black walnut, you can see the center of it right there. Turn this black walnut log, and it can be any log that you want, that you like the wood of. There's a lot of dead ash trees around right now, and that would be a good one because ash is a beautiful wood if you get to it soon enough. And I'm going to take it and spin this bark off with a cutting tool and reduce it from, you notice it's not round. See it? You can see a little better here. It's about 3.6 inches from left to right and about 3.2 inches up and down, okay, top to bottom. So that, you notice I got my approximate hole drilled, so it's going to take more material off the left than it does the right. And when it's done, it's going to give me a 12" dowel that's in the center of this at 2.25. So I'm going to set it up, put it in the lathe, and then you'll see the QuickTime video. So that's what I'm working on. All right, one of the things I had to do, I screwed this all the way down, and then I had to cut back away here just a little bit. And I did it on my table saw, which is kind of crude, but I did it that way anyway, safely. And that allows it to fit inside here. So if we go up and look, you can see that it will now fit right inside here because it narrows down so it'll fit in that hole. See it? Drop in. And that way I can tighten it down and securely, because I only need a 12" log, and this is like 15 or 16, so that gives me space on this end for clearance and space on that end for clearance. That's what I'm working on. What we started with, as you know, was a log this big. Now we've got a 1/4" inch, 2 1/4" inch log, diameter log. So from here to here is 2 1/4 inch. But you can see it's rough because I cut with a 1/4" bit, so you can see the lines along it. But this is my new surface that I can use to create whatever I want. I can create a roller, I can create a dowel, I can create, you know, anything I want out of it. And it's a black walnut, so I'm almost down to the core here. So when I go down another 1/4 inch from my finished roller, it might actually be in the grain of the or the heart of the tree. So if you've got some logs or firewood around, you look for a good piece, and I wouldn't use one much bigger than this. This is 3.5, so it gives me enough clearance here, so you could actually go to 4 if you wanted to, and you would still be safe. And you can take that down into a nice dowel that you can carve your pieces into. So see that I've got plenty of clearance here and here. So, but that's it. That's how you take a log and make a nice dowel that I can then make a project out of, like a rolling pin or anything else I want to do. So that's another thing you can do with your CNC if you're cheap like I am sometimes, and you've got some logs saved up, like over there. See them sticking out? I saved those from a tree, figuring out, well, I could use those. They were too short for the sawmill. So, all right, what you see, this is the finished product I used out of the maple block, and this is the black walnut that I just cut on the CNC lathe or 4th axis. And you can see I took it from this size down to a 2 1/4 inch. Can be a rolling pin, whatever you need it to be. So that gives you an idea. You don't have to start with high-grade wood stock. You can actually take a log that's been in my barn for a while and dry it out and use it, turn it down, and use the adapter that came with it and turn it down to 2 1/4. You can leave it in the mill for your future project, or you can take it out and set it aside because you can quickly install it back in. So gives you some ideas, and that way if you don't have the stock available, you can cut this off here and here, or you can leave it this size, and that'll let you work on the next project or build up a stock around dowel so you'll have them ready to turn out a finished product when you want to. Have a great day. Have fun with your CNC.